Let's talk about upper motor neuron versus lower motor neuron. So, upper motor neuron originate from the precentral gyrus in the motor cortex and terminate on the anterior horn cells, and lower motor neurons start from anterior horn cells and terminate on the skeletal muscle. So, we have to remember that the termination is above the anterior horn cells. They do not involve the anterior horn cells itself, and the function is to contribute in the voluntary movement, posture, muscle tone, and coordination. So the lesion of upper motor neuron can involve anywhere between the motor cortex to the anterior horn cells, and the weakness of the group of muscle will be there, increased spasticity, exaggerated reflexes. There would be positive Babinski sign, and absent fasciculation. Distribution will be of pyramidal pattern, and the onset will be of gradual. The causes or example of upper motor neuron could involve the stroke, that could be infarct or hemorrhage, cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injuries above the anterior horn cells, brain tumors, and hereditary spastic paralysis, and also the ALS in the early stages. While the lower motor neurons, they start from the anterior horn cells and goes to the muscle, and the location will be of cell body in the anterior horn cells of the spinal cord or in the motor cranial nerve nuclei. Right? Axon travel through peripheral nerve to innervate the skeletal muscle. The function is to directly stimulate the muscle fiber and produce the contraction. The lesion in the lower motor neuron could be anywhere on the interior horn cells, nerve roots, peripheral nerve, neuromuscular junction, and muscle. There would be weakness of specific muscle, decrease or flaccid muscles, diminished or absent reflexes, and there would be absent or negative Babinski sign. The atrophy would be prominent, and the peripheral segmental or nerve pattern will be there, and the onset is usually acute or subacute, right? So the causes of lower motor neuron is poliomyelitis, peripheral neuropathy, that include GBS or DM, and then motor neuron disease like ALS in later stages, nerve root compression like in disc prolapse, brachial or lumbosacral plexus, neuromuscular junction disorder, myasthenia gravis, and muscular dystrophy. So, the upper motor neuron, there will be spastic, strong reflexes, and spare bulk, while in lower motor neuron, the flaccidity, weak reflexes, or wasted bulk. And the key to remember is that the upper motor neuron control groups of muscle. There would be indirect control, while lower motor neuron control individual muscles. There would be direct control.